Welcome to the 8th Amazing Race 27 recap episode and 100th podcast of the UR Team Number podcast. My name is Michael Harmstone, and joining me as always after 87 appearances is the Canadian who always attracts older women, Logan Saunders.
Afternoon.
One Australian who after 16 appearances has promised us she'll never abandon her kids to go and pay her bills, Michelle pearce-denovan.
Woohoo!
And the other Australian who after 45 appearances has made his love of something to manhandle quite well known, Ben Powell.
Howdy.
You can tweet us, as always, using the hashtag yatncast, or, alternatively, as I've seen already today, hashtag yatin100, or email us at yatncast@gmail.com. So, previously, 7 teams raced to Rotterdam and Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Justin and Diana found themselves in unfamiliar territory, the middle of the pack, for the first time since leg 1. At the detour, Tiffany and Krista jumped into the lead while Tanner and Josh sank. Justin and Diana won another leg and got other teams talking, and Cindy and Rick's indecision and bad decisions, great segue there from Phil, led to them being the 5th team eliminated in enigmatic fashion.
Thank you. Okay.
Did you see that they didn't even do any exit interviews? Did you hear about this?
I did not.
They conducted all their exit interviews by email for some reason, and pissed off a lot of people.
Pissed off all 10 of their fans.
They didn't even do any phone interviews or anything.
They really didn't like to speak on camera then.
No, they really didn't.
Maybe they were that angry that they got a bad edit on the show. And it's like, we are not happy with the way you portrayed us on the Amazing Race. But just imagine that with an American accent and the occasional Vietnamese.
CBS did us dirty.
We lost the People's Champions last week. And teams must now use an app to book flights to Krakow, Poland, and find Plaza Krakow to dive for their next clue.
Product placement.
And, seen as though it's the 100th episode, they actually treated us to all the departure times this week. Thank you, CPS. That was a nice treat.
Ding!
So we've got Justin and Diana at 10:10pm, Kelsey and Joey at 10:23, Tiffany and Krista at 10:24, Tanner and Josh at 11:34, Logan and Chris at 12:11am, and Denise and James Earl at 12:36.
Right at the top of the episode, Tanner and Josh said, you don't know what it's like to run the race, but Justin does, in a sarcastic tone. I'm here to say I have never run the race, but I know what it's like. And you know why? Because I've done day races.
Cat and Jesse.
Well, no, because first of all, we all know how tiring it is. We know exactly what they go through. We've done so much research into this damn thing that we know little bits about what they do. Next, I'm a mum. I live on 4 hours sleep a night a lot of the time. I've done day races where I've let myself get totally stuffed. The next day I can't even move. So I know what it would be like to sleep on 4 hours, to get up the next day totally stuffed. I know how it would feel. It would feel like hell running this race. And it just drove me crazy when they said no one knows. Well, I'm sorry, Tanner and Josh. I know. And I'm assuming Justin knows too before he started.
I think the comment was more aimed at the certain types of fans on, say, the Amazing Race Facebook page who, the kinds of fans who all complained about Justin crying in the first episode, who was have certain comments to say about female teams. You know the kind of fan I'm talking about.
We need to get on to talking about the critical reception to Justin this week, actually, because I have seen some diabolical tweets. There have been some horrid ones that Justin was replying to earlier.
I have no idea about this. Please go on about this, Michael.
Well, there was one that I retweeted and quoted to him earlier, saying, "Hey Las Vegas, what are the odds on this Neanderthal killing this woman someday? What an asshole. #Amazing Race." With a picture of Justin and Diana on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did that even come from in the episode? Because they weren't really arguing at all this episode, so that completely takes me by surprise.
The screen grab was the one of them on the water taxi.
Oh, just from the flashback at the very start with Diana crying.
Yeah.
About letting Justin down and it being a scene that really meant nothing overall because they were finished in first place anyway.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell, guys?
Wait. So, Michael, it's news to you that fans can sometimes be assholes?
Yeah, there's a difference between people being assholes and people saying stuff like that.
Not really, no. Have you, the most insane fan base... I know in general the society makes a lot of jokes about, believers or Lady Gaga fans or whatever, but like the most insane fan base in the entire world are the fans of American reality television shows. If you just have to point to any show, just look at Big Brother, another CBS reality show. It's like, their fans are, well, some of them are literally insane.
I know we spend a lot of these podcasts defending people, especially like Hayley last season, Justin this season, but what the hell? People are going way too far again. And like Logan's complaint blog is going to have an absolute field day when he can be asked getting to this week. Because, there's some cray-crays in there. Yeah,
so just like I said, like some people get overly invested in the outcome of a reality show. And that leads to like some insane fanaticism from their end. And when you combine insane fanaticism with like being able to articulate a response, you get, that tweet.
Also, here's a newsflash for people who complain about Justin and Diana. Kelsey and Joey are the ones getting the winners at it, especially this week.
Oy.
We got a lot of Kelsey and Joey this week.
And it goes back to the original point of Josh saying that, with them airing Josh saying that, you have no idea what it's like to run this race until you experience it, because that quote isn't really meant for people like us. It's meant for the crazy fans who are like that.
Yeah, and if you have 3 hours to spare and want to find out what it's like running the race, listen to Ben and Michelle's podcast with Kat and Jetty. It was amazing. Not just saying that because they are both in this call. I was bloody impressed at you guys.
Yeah, you are kind of saying it because we're here.
No, I'm not.
I brought it up. Anyway.
I've genuinely said this in a job interview that I was very proud of you guys for that interview.
Anyway, we're running back up to the third team to the left, the pit stop, aren't we?
And Justin and Diana are the ones who get the early flight at 7 a.m, and everyone else leaves later, but they won't actually tell us what time.
They did. The flight that Justin and Diana got on, it arrived at 11:20, and the flight everyone else got on left at, I'm not sure when it left, but it arrived at 12:40, so it was an hour and 20 minutes behind.
That must have been a super short leg then, because we didn't see Justin and Diana actually communicate with anyone else. Yeah, it probably means that they checked in before anyone else even landed, though.
And I guess this got confirmed elsewhere. They even talked about it on Rob Has a Podcast, where did Justin confirm it for them or something? Cause...
Wash your mouth out. We don't say those swear words on this podcast.
Well, I'm just trying to reinforce that I guess this has been multiply sourced, I guess, that this that they checked into the pit stop before the second flight landed, which makes me think they pulled in Amazing Race Asia, and that they just pretty much lied about the arrival time of the flight.
Probably. And we get to see another taxi TV from Kelsey and Joey.
Yeah, we're in traffic here, and we're in a race here, and it's like that for 20 seconds.
And did anyone else appreciate Logan front flipping into the pool?
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest dives into a pool I've ever seen. It's like she pretty much did do a frontward flip right into it.
She was so bored, waiting for Chris to get his swimming shorts on. She just went, sod it, I'll jump in.
Shoes and all.
Logan had such a good episode. And we found out what Tanner and Josh's weakness is, which is pom-poms and miniskirts.
Oh, yes.
There's too many directions to go with them. I feel if we go in none of those directions, we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Tanner and Josh's biggest weakness is actually crepes and French beer, but I guess that's a story for another time.
So once teams pick their clue up from the bottom of the pool, it's the detour, which is mine or music. And in mine, teams must carry a timber pole through the salt mine. Anyone want to try and have a punt at saying the salt mine's name?
It's the Wielicka. Is that right at all?
I think that's actually pretty damn close to it then. And the timber pole is used to strengthen the mine's passages, fill a cart with salt, and then push the cart back to the start line to receive their next clue. And in music, teams must learn a piece of music on the piano, push the piano through the streets to a performance area, and accompany a violinist to busk for 100 zloty to receive their next clue.
Apparently the Polish on the Amazing Race US version love pianos.
I love how this detour was basically push something or push something else.
Push something lighter or push something heavier.
And as I did mention to Logan last week, this salt mine has appeared before in international versions. In fact, it appears every single time they go to Krakow in any international version ever.
Apparently the mine isn't even open anymore. It's just a museum I was reading online.
The mine task also showed us where the locks with teams' names on were, because everyone assumed that would be Paris.
Oh, so we were way off.
Yeah, because if they wanted to do the mine task, they had to find their lock on, I suppose, the cage wall and unlock it to lower down their overalls.
It seems like in general, it seems like a little bit of a pointless, obstacle in the task. Both the sides of the detour are multi-staged, but, this was like, Unlock a lock to get your uniform. Now take an elevator down to the mine. Now carry a log further into the mine. Now shovel salt. Now push a minecart. Now get your next clue.
And Joey had a neat whistle.
Yeah, there's not really much going on. There's like we saw that for somehow like even though Joey and Kelsey and Tanner and Josh are considered the front runners of the race, like the best team actually getting a taxi was Logan and Chris. So
because they actually ran to a taxi as opposed to when they saw one, as opposed to just standing there and looking at it. Kind of makes a difference when you're trying to get a taxi.
But basically, the music task was just all character scenes. We found out about James Earl's childhood, with Denise saying she used to take James Earl for piano lessons, go pay her bills, and then pick him up.
Yeah, just to leave him with the piano instructor for hours at a time. She probably goes shopping, maybe goes to Dairy Queen, sits at home for an hour, and then goes back to pick up James Earl at piano practice.
Didn't she say it was when he was like 4 as well?
Hopefully she'll come back and the piano will not have like driven out of the house like that Vanessa Carlton video.
Could that Vanessa Carlton video be 1,000 miles, seeing as there was one Vanessa Carlton video?
It's another entry in her extensive discography, Michael. What, you Philistine?
Go on, Ben. Without Wikipedia, name any other Vanessa Carlton song.
I don't have to prove anything to you.
Did she do a song with Santana?
Probably. Everyone's done a song with Santana. I mean, Chad Kroger's done 2, both of which are actually better than every Nickelback song, but,
I think that's a
5 albums.
Really?
Yeah.
Vanessa Carlton has 5 albums. Jesus.
But the last one to the last one to reach gold was Ordinary Day, which was released the same year, and from the same album. None of her other songs really charted. I'm shocked that the world didn't, flock to the sounds of Nolita Fairy Tale or Carousel or I Don't Want to Be a Bride or Willows or Blue Pool.
Well, to be fair, Carousel was a cover of the infamous Brat Pack track.
I think Blue Pool is what you see after choking on one of the dishes there at the restaurant this leg.
We've never exposed you to Brat Pack, Ben.
I don't even know what I thought Brat Pack was like that group of actors in the 50s who did a bunch of films
Davis
together.
Jr.
No, the Canadian Brat Pack from the early 2000s that were one-hit wonder. They had a song called Carousel, and it is one of the worst music videos ever.
Because they make you go up, make you go down.
That song is tragic.
It's not as good as B44's Get Down, though, which I know I've sent you, Michelle, because I love it.
I've seen both of them. They're both as tragic as each other.
I tend to stick to good music or relatively good music. Like I sort of see the appeal in the terrible, but I once watched a music video by the Shags, and that sort of like killed me.
I love how this podcast is basically just turning into the greatest hits of the podcast. So we're talking about Brat Pack, we're talking about Bacon and Tori Spelling, which we did before.
Oh, Bacon. My bacon's all gone now. Very sad.
You guys are about influence to me. Like, when this is finished, I'm going to send you the entire discography of Farrah Abraham.
Oh, please don't. Oh, God, no.
Oh, God.
I will.
I genuinely hope that her album title is some sort of pun on Backdoor Teen Mom.
Oh, really?
So, mining. Let's talk about salt mining.
Can we talk about Logan and Chris in the salt mine, please?
What was he doing?
What if something falls down? Then our legs are crushed and we're paralysed.
It's good that it's good to have a team that's genuinely funny instead of just laughing at them.
I know that Logan and Chris occasionally listen to our podcast. Let me just say this: we love you guys. This final 5, hopefully, if Tanner and Josh go next week, this final 5 could be a very fun one, purely because everyone in it is slightly kooky. Everyone in it is slightly mental.
Especially the firecrackers of Joey and Kelsey.
Joey and Kelsey are mental enough. I mean, Joey doesn't know where Mozart is from. And may I point out, after we said that Logan was amazing at geography last week, she was not sure whether Krakow was still in Europe. And Joey said he felt like Mozart pushing the piano through the streets of Krakow.
He doesn't know his Mozart's from his Chopin's.
I mean, he knows Mozart plays piano, though, so...
But when would Mozart be pushing a piano? When? Seriously.
He'd have people to do that.
God. How could those pianos even be playable after going over those cobblestones? I am just amazed. They must have had no tune at all.
Yeah, Christian and Tiffany's wasn't it?
I was falling apart.
Yes, I've not actually shown you what our band is going to be this week, but it is indeed Krista with her fingers trapped in the piano because it made me laugh.
To make Joey and Kelsey interesting, what you need to do is swap out Kelsey with an older woman, and now you've got an interesting dynamic going on.
They were old enough to be the mother of a cougar. And Joey's like 30, so those women must have been like in their 80s at least.
Well, believe it or not, Michael, most people who watch local news stations tend to be in that demographic.
And we also found out that Chris loves something to manhandle. And then Denise and James Earl again. We're begging!
God.
I have said it before, and I will say it again. Denise is a star.
Somebody actually paid them money to stop playing. That's very Lil-esque where in Survivor Pearl Islands, where the people in the Outcast voted Lil back in just so they didn't have to spend the next 3 weeks with her. It's pretty much the same concept where you have some local just paying up money just to send some American tourist playing the piano away.
I think there was like a scene similar to this in season 21 where Lexi she was doing the Turkish task with the pouring of whatever. I'm so good at Amazing Race history, guys. That task, the one before the pit stop, and she was like being loud and annoying, and like I think one of her last people was like, "I'll buy a lot if you stop screaming," or something like that. I might be misremembering it. Maybe she was just happy in general. I don't know. And
we also got to see Chris to be very aggressive.
I loved how when Tiffany was trying to play the piano, that she tried to do it in dance steps, where she was just counting up to 8 while playing on the piano keys.
This is like the second confirmation we have that Poland is a rude place.
Well, I'm not sure I would hand over money if some 5'1" American came up to you and went, "You've not even got $1? How did you buy your clothes then? How rude!"
Yes, but remember All Stars with Charlotte and Myrna, where the entire country of Poland seemed to want them to, I don't know, leave.
Do we think that this episode actually lived up to the history of Poland on Amazing Race US?
No. I think it was good, but, Poland 1 is lofty heights. Poland 1 had the tuning of the piano, the
X-ray.
The X-rays, some other tasks. It had the whole flight snafu at the start with, one team being like 13 hours behind the rest.
And it had the unaired paddling task.
Which, can I point out, Logan and Chris would have slayed because of paddleboarding in her backyard canals. And also, did anyone else notice that Tanner kept his bandana on with the mine overalls? You could just see orange.
Yeah, every Amazing Race team seems to be very, dedicated to their costume, except in the case of Lions.
Denise and James Earl completely abandoned their pink because of Lions. But how dare Amazing Race producers take part in the lion walks? Don't you know that it harms the lions? You've got up to those complaints now, haven't you, Logan?
Yes, all 10,000 of them.
God, I love those people.
I can't believe you're making fun of that, Michael. Like, lions die sometimes. I mean, I'm signing that petition. I hope you advertise that petition in the YouTube comments right now.
We've already advertised that petition and said it was completely stupid.
That sounds like my monocle popping off.
So, Justin and Dan are the first to leave mine, with Kelsey and Joey leaving music in second. A blatant race fan helps Denise and James Earl leave music in third. Logan and Chris leaving mine in fourth. Tiffany and Chris leave music in fifth. And Tanner and Josh leaving mine in last. And teams must now find the Oscar Schindler factory to find their next clue.
I guess Tiffany and Krista, they were saying online that they refused to dance for money at the piano task because they didn't want to look bad on TV.
Well,
but they got ridiculed anyway because people said it was really tacky for them to offer a kiss on the cheek, so they pretty much lost out either way.
Did these people watch Brooke and Claire?
Was there supposed
They
to be
probably
like
did, but they probably forgot.
Well, yeah, because the Amazing, it's not. I don't think there's many Amazing Race fans who've watched every single of the 27 seasons from the start in 2001. So, but yeah, I don't remember the dancing being part of the task. So, unless I'm misremembering it. Because all I remember was push piano to the place, get tips. I don't remember dancing being part of it. Just because Denise does it doesn't mean it's an obligation. I mean, it'd be funny, but still. I mean, if we all followed Denise's example, we'd have like hundreds of children abandoned and many bills paid.
And rap music wouldn't exist anymore.
And we would also have many sunflowers just being whacked around. Denise went all out on trying to get people's attention, basically, using sunflowers and hats and everything.
That was in the box, wasn't it?
Yeah, no other team used a sunflower, though, I don't think. I didn't notice anyone else use one.
Yeah, just like become these American clowns. Laugh at the Americans. They think they run the world.
Who run the world? Girls.
No Spice Girls reference.
It was actually Beyonce, but whatever.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Logan, catch up on your female pop personality / groups of the 2000s.
I could have sworn that's a Spice Girls quote, but
no, I don't think Beyonce's voice was that low though. I don't think she went, "Who run the world? Girls."
Girls.
That's more for Toni Braxton.
Who run the world? Girls. Who run this mother?
Okay.
Anyway, we're not going to make jokes about the Schindler Factory, because, It
was the most lighthearted part of the episode.
Dana's already going to cry.
I think it's one of those places that's acceptable to cry in would probably be some sort of Holocaust museum / memorial. If anybody on social media, ridicules any of the teams for crying at the Oscar Schindler Factory, then they can just suck it, quite frankly.
Laugh at this, okay? Unless they probably think, what? God, why are they crying at a museum dedicated to a Steven Spielberg movie?
Ha!
Oh my God! Fuck you, Michael.
Yes.
Jesus.
And if anyone wants to see a lot of comments about crying, see all the ones that Justin retweeted. There are a lot of them.
And the hat thing has made a reappearance with someone complaining that Justin didn't take his hat off.
Right, let me address this because I need to. Despite the fact that the Schindler Factory is a place of respect, it's not a place of worship. As I said in week, whatever it was, 2 was it? 3? It's not a place of worship. If it is a Catholic church, yes, you should take your hat off, but no, the producers obviously didn't tell them this. Schindler's Factory might be inside, but it is not a place of worship, so therefore, Justin does not have to take his hat off. No one has to take the hat off. In fact, Joey could have worn his monogrammed hat if he wanted to. Someone could have worn a hat with a friggin' turkey on it for all anyone cares.
Like, one of the things that does shit me is the constant, audience trying to force their religious on the races and, respect to every single one of my religions or whatever. So, they let them know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in certain countries before they go there. That's why, in season 21, when they're going to, Bangladesh and stuff, Josh and Brent knew they couldn't kiss because, homosexuality is a no-no over there. So, they know, the producers tell them everything. They know what they have to do. It's not in the early days, it was sort of vague instructions with a few hard lines. But, right now, they basically have down everything they can and can't do to the letter. So, if they couldn't keep their hat on in the Oscar Schindler Museum, they would have been told. So, yeah.
I mean, go back and watch Logan and Chris's fight, which we'll get to in the next 5 minutes. But when Chris takes the roadblock clue, Logan says something along the lines of, "Oh, you won't get far without this," and actually hands him a piece of race paper. That is the instructions that they receive in every clue. If they had to take their hat off in Schindler's Factory, it would have said it explicitly on there, and if they didn't, they would have got hauled aside by the producer who will be on site for every task location because there are that many producers. Spoilers. They would have said, "We're going to have to film you without a hat on. Take your hat off now." If there was a fence available, they would have pointed it out.
Pretty much.
Are you just supposed to take your hat off going into every damn building in the world?
Yeah, may as well not bring a hat.
Oh my gosh, really? I don't know. We don't seem to have these issues.
Can you imagine them checking in? Justin and Dinah, you're the first team to arrive at the Klezmer house, but I'm sorry, you have to go outside, take your hat off, and come back in before I can check you in.
Yeah, notice how Phil wasn't wearing a hat.
Because he's respectful, Michael.
Exactly. Show some damn respect.
I think, though, just getting back to the original point about the Schindler's Factory. I think though the tour guide was there to actually make sure that they actually got the television moment rather than just them running in and taking the clue. I mean, to be sort of fair, these are the same teams who just ran into a church and didn't take their hat off. So
wore a hat in a Catholic church. How dare they? I mean, as a Catholic, I am offended. So yeah, one's teams complete their walk around the museum. they have to find the Jewish quarter to find the next clue. And it's the roadblock, which is who can handle a big order. And in this roadblock, one team member must identify 7 Jewish dishes using a list, get the correct quantities of each, and deliver them to the maitre d' at the klezmer house to receive the next clue.
I knew one of those dishes.
Latka. I knew that. That was the only one.
I knew what a latka was, and only because it was mentioned on The Simpsons once.
And it was Justin, Kelsey, James Earl, Tiffany, Chris, and Josh doing the roadblock. And I'm assuming with this one, they weren't allowed to make notes. Because that's what I would have done when I Googled it.
Yeah, everyone. It is like a task. Everyone went to ask for help. So
yeah.
Do you think that's the intention the producers had when they thought of the task?
I'm not sure, because even good Jewish boys like Justin, Prentice reference for you there, Ben, still had to ask. And did anyone else notice that Tanner's leg was still strapped up as well?
Well, I didn't really notice it because, I watched a few secret scenes with them and Tiffany and Krista. So, isn't
Kugels the name of Mitch Hurwitz's character in Community season 6?
It could be. I did not know any of these dishes at all. Apparently, I don't consume that much Jewish cuisine.
No, I didn't know any either.
I've made latkes before, actually. I just remembered that. Sort of forgot what I've done. Like, I cook a lot, so if I find a random recipe that I have the ingredients for, whatever country it's from, whatever day of the week it's on, whatever time of day it's supposed to be served, I'll probably make it. So I've actually made latkes before. I just remember that.
I was really disappointed to not see any pierogies in there.
I don't know what that is. I've never made a pierogi.
What? You never heard of pierogies?
Amazing Race Canada 2 with Rex and Bob in the Ukrainian church in Winnipeg.
Yeah, a lot of people eat pierogies around where I live, so... Huh.
Oh, yeah, those things.
Which I actually got a response from the Amazing Race Canada admin about when I posted the screen grab I did of pierogi pumba.
Probably because it's the only G-rated thing you've ever tweeted, the Amazing Race Canada admin.
Well, to be fair, most of my tweets to the Amazing Race Canada admin do go along the lines of smack my bitch up. So, what can I say?
White
people talking about rap. Isn't that the, you know...
We're back to 2 weeks ago again.
Why yatncast, everybody?
Do you notice that Justin said he only has one beef during the roadblock? So, who does he have the one beef with?
Was Tanner and Josh, wasn't it?
Yeah, now he has it with the fans, Joey and Kelsey, but... Are they worthy of being in the beef category?
Anti-hat activists?
Anti-activists.
So, once teams leave the roadblock, they have to head inside the klezmer house, the pit stop for this leg of the race. The last team to check in here may be eliminated.
It would have been embarrassing if they pulled all Misa and Maya and got lost on the way to the pit stop.
Where are they going?
Just have Phil looking really confused.
Yeah. They're just dancing on the other side of the room, but they can't find me, 10 feet away on the mat. I'm even yelling Mazel Tov like 20 times.
Oi, Justin, Mazel Tov!
Can I just say that the all-encompassing, exciting foot race between Tiffany and Krista and Tanner and Josh was the most polite jog I've seen for the last place.
Whilst I really, really, really enjoyed this episode, I did not enjoy the pit stop location.
I know it was a fun place for a non-elimination round.
Yeah, there's no intrigue, though, as to who's going to come in last.
I like the polite jog they had inside, but what would have been funny is if Tiffany Crystal, they're sort of entering through a gap in a crowd. But what would have been funny if Tara just sort of barreled through the side of the crowd and got there first. So
and just threw Tiffany and Krista to the ground. Politeness only lasts for so long.
It did make me laugh just to see so many comments going, "Oh my god, I can't believe how pretty and polite Tanner and Josh are. Oh, they're my favourites."
Well, they're from Texas.
Yeah, it's seriously, no, they did it because they're friends, not because they're polite.
The two aren't mutually exclusive.
And also because they have never seen the race before and probably thought that it was going to be just a keep on racing leg again. So Justin and Diana are the first to the pit stop again, and they win a trip to Shanghai.
A rare Travelocity prize for this season.
And there is another announcement that there's a U-turn again. Why are they announcing U-turns before they happen?
Drama.
To get them all riled up about it. Phil wants to pump them up and be like, there's a U-turn on the next round. Hey guys, what you going to do about it?
What you going to do when they come for you?
I can sort of see the benefit in having a little over a day to think about the U-turn rather than just the 12-hour flight.
Yeah, that's going to be a really long flight for them.
Well, I think it worked well the first time earlier this season because it gave Tanner and Josh a lot of time to come up with the perfect plan for the U-turn. So by doing this again, somebody gets to come up with another over-elaborate plan that they got to think about for 2 days straight.
Well, assuming it's not a blind one, Tiffany and Krista are the only ones who can't use it.
That is true.
You know what I'm thinking, guys? I'm thinking the two teams that will get there first will U-turn another two teams.
Who said it's a double? Phil said last time that there is a double U-turn on the next leg. He only said a U-turn on the next leg.
Dun, dun, dun.
Could they be switching it up?
I don't think so. No, not really.
No, neither do I, but, it'll be a nice surprise if it is a single U-turn. It'll be hilarious. And Kelsey and Joe were second, with Denise and James Earl third.
What's with Denise and James Earl always checking in with another team? Isn't this like the third or fourth time they've done that this season, where it's like they just can't check in alone or be on the pit stop mat alone?
Well, they got first before Justin and Diana, and they were gone before they got there, so in Africa.
There's only about 10 minutes there, though, I think. And Denise and James Earl are the only team since leg 3 to beat Justin and Diana, which is ridiculous. Logan and Chris were 4th, Tiffany and Krista were 5th, and last was Tanner and Josh, with a non-elimination, and the glorious return of my most favourite twist in the whole amazing race, the speed bump.
I think you're really the only one who hates it, Michael. I would get wanting more of the other penalties if, say, like I don't know, there was actually more of a focus on the individual travel and like getting the stuff the early season were made of. But there's not really much of it anymore. It's like it's basically as much of a relic as the fast forward at this point. So
I would like to present a what if scenario. What if this wasn't a non-elimination leg? Would Tanner and Josh be absolutely ridiculed for years to come?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would be mocking them mercilessly right now. And it would be hilarious.
But nothing really stops you from mocking them, so...
Well, there wasn't really... Sadly, as much as I would like there to be a lot to mock about them this leg, they really only fell behind because they weren't proactive enough with the taxis. And
how do we feel about Chris's grandmother, Dorothy? Do you think she's fond of Joey? And are there sparks there?
She's the greatest amazing race NPC since Fern.
What about Tyler off of James's mum?
What?
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 Muscle talk.
All for that metal, the pencils down, guy. So next time we have the first visit to India in forever. Logan and Chris are a target, and Kelsey and Joey try and take someone out.
So the first visit since season 20, right?
I believe so. I can't think of another time.
A long time ago.
Record long break for them.
Yeah.
Besides Beast Race Canada being there 2 seconds ago, but whatever.
I believe it's 2 legs in India, and I believe it's 2 legs in Agra, to be precise.
I think it's I think the reason they haven't really gone there is because they've had Indonesia, which is basically, a cheaper version of India, I guess. A cheaper tropical version of India. I mean, not obviously, not actually, because there's a whole large, extensive history of Indonesia and that sort of thing. But to the Amazing Race, all the Asian countries basically interchangeable for the purposes of their locations and tasks and whatnot.
It's entirely Agra next week, and then Agra and Jodhpur the week after.
Tiffany couldn't even put the dish on top of her shoulder. That was outrageous.
Worst Amazing Race really ever.
The size of that thing, how could you put on your shoulder? I mean, seriously.
Look how tiny she is.
I don't understand.
Obviously, she couldn't do it because she wears too much makeup. I'm channeling the spirit of Kelly and Siobhan here.
And can I just say that Joey called a clarinet a flute as well? He's having serious issues with every part of general knowledge in the world.
So what do we think is going to happen next week?
A team's going to get U-turned.
And a team is going to get eliminated, more importantly, because there are no more non-eliminations unless they do the final four twist again, which they won't do. There are no more non-eliminations, so it is a bloodbath for the next 3 weeks.
Dun dun dun.
Great.
Yeah.
Tanner and Josh, Joey and Kelsey hopefully get eliminated, but probably be Tanner and Josh since their storyline has been over for quite a while.
Yeah, there was no storyline for them whatsoever this week.
Once it was like, it got up to the U-turn in Africa, that his storyline just died, sort of.
They essentially swapped spots with Joey and Kelsey for the anti-Justin and Diana role.
I hope that means it's like a double elimination next leg. So then, like, both of them are gone, and then Tiffany and Krista, Logan and Chris, Denise and James Earl can all pick up that slack.
I'm hoping Tanner and Josh, just because I have a slight soft spot for Kelsey and Joey. But, yeah, Tanner and Josh I'll be happy with going.
I'd like them both to go. Like, you know, I'm guessing because this is the Amazing Race, one of them is actually winning. So I know we as extended long-time viewers, we should know that when watching the Amazing Race, having a favourite team and having that favourite team win is sort of like asking for the near impossible. We sort of got spoiled with the Amy and Maya win, but, you know, Tyler and Laura winning last season was really back to form for the Amazing Race. So.
Yeah, we were pulling for Mike and Roe and Blair and Haley last season.
Yeah, it's pretty much. So, who do you want to see win?
Green all the way.
I want to see Justin and Diana purely because I want to see the rivers of tears engulf their haters.
All right, Rachel.
He will. He'll be crying. It'll be fantastic.
I'm pretty sure that 2 of the final 3 will be Justin and Diana and Kelsey and Joey because of how the edit's working out. Justin and Diana are being set up for probably second place in the same vein as Misty and Jim, and Kelsey and Joey are being set up to win. Who the third team is a very difficult choice for me because I love Denise and James Earl and I love Logan and Chris.
I think Denise and James Earl might make that number 3 spot.
Yeah, I suspect Denise and James Earl just from looking at the edit. And the fact that he's a covert superfan who just wants to finish the race and be the best mother-son team ever to play.
So all 3 of you want Justin and Diana win?
I don't know. I want Justin and Diana to be in the final leg at the very least because it's going to be so nerve-wracking for them. Like, if opening round jitters Justin and Diana was wild, and I can't imagine what final leg, final roadblock Justin and Diana jitters will be.
Especially as we didn't really have a proper memory task last season, so we're due to have a rock-hard memory task this season.
Are you telling me that organising your own selfies isn't extreme?
No. If we get on the podcast after a finale and go, really? That was the memory challenge? What? Then, you know, it's kind of not the sort of memory challenge we want. So, are we all in agreement that basically Tanner and Josh are dead next week?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I didn't say how I want to win. I'm going for Tiffany and Krista.
Yeah, that's who I'm always going back and forth between them and Justin and Diana.
I know that the entire season has really been about Justin and Diana and whoever struck up a rivalry with them, but, like, wouldn't it be great that, like, one of the first main confessions of the season was, like, Kelly and Siobhan going, OMG, Tiffany and Krista are such high maintenance girls, they wear makeup, LOL. And then, like, they get eliminated first, and Tiffany and Krista go on to win. That would be a pretty great, you know, arc.
To be fair, having to see Kelly and Siobhan politely clap as Tiffany and Krista cross the finish line in first place would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because the amount of shit that they would tweet towards Tiffany and Krista afterwards would be hilarious.
We didn't mean it. We were just playing around. No, so what are you doing with your $1 million?
Yeah, Tiffany and Krista wouldn't care at all, but it would be hilarious.
I know there's probably like a 8-week-old discussion by now, but like I actually saw like a sort of semi-article, semi-interview they did like what I think it was like relative to the premiere party when like Tiffany and Chris I'm talking about they mentioned like you know it's like they feel pretty bad for Kelly and Siobhan having to like resort to like tearing down other women to just make themselves like look better because like you know as you know the whole feminism thing is about empowerment and bringing each other up. So like just resorting to tearing down I think fellow women with like the most basic of anti-women insults is sort of like you know whatever, bye bitch, go bye.
Don't get me wrong, I do very much like Tiffany and Krista, and I wouldn't be disappointed if they did win. I just can't see it happen.
Amazing Race, I know, like, as all of us as Survivor fans, we've all noticed that, especially...
Sorry, terrible cough.
As in recent seasons, like, with the exception of, say, Kim Spradlin and Natalie Anderson, Survivor is not very good at editing female winners that are accepted by the fan base, really. So... I know it doesn't happen that often because like there's only 3 female teams to win in the US, but Amazing Race does not do a good job of editing their winners. Their female team winners because like Keisha and Jen, they were very under the radar that season. I really liked them, but like they were very under the radar. Amy and Maya were like relatively invisible for half the season. They got the Joey and Kelsey thing of what we're assuming is like the bare minimum of content.
Amy and Maya was slightly different purely because we picked up on the coronation edit, basically. It
wasn't so much a coronation edit as like the Sophie Clark edit of like the Sophie Clark from Survivor edit of giving them like meaningful content each episode, but not really a story. Like they didn't get a story until their late game rival with Brooke and Robbie. So and Nat and Kat, they got a winners edit, but like that's not really that exciting.
To be fair to Nat and Kat, in that season, anyone would have paled in comparison to Brooke and Claire and Mallory. Or Brooke and Mallory, to be precise. Those two were always going to be sort of beacons of edit when they were in the season. Because they are huge personalities, both of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm taking it as a guess here. I do think Joey and Kelsey are the number one pick to win the Amazing Race so far this season. But I think if we were going for like content alone, I think Tiffany and Krista, they're my backups. Really, they're also my backups because like they're not as strong as Justin and Diana, but they have had meaningful content throughout the season. Like they got a confessional in like one of the Africa legs about how they're always going last and they're always trying to catch up, and then they've been like slowly improving since then. So it's either going to be a surprising winners at it, or they're going to be a semi beat. I think I can't see them going next leg.
I see it more being a last elimination disappointing one that they're setting up for with Tiffany and Krista rather than a winners edit, because I think Joey and Kelsey have got the winner's edit on lock at the moment, unless something changes in the next 3-4 weeks.
Unfortunately.
And on that glorious note, thank you very much for joining us. You can join us again to recap episode 9 next weekend. If you enjoyed the show, and even if you didn't, please give us a like on YouTube and subscribe and rate the episodes on iTunes. If you want to see what we're rambling about this week, you can tweet us at MJHarmstone, at LogSuperQuacky, at Bear333333, and at Ink1Y, all of which are spelled in the descriptions everywhere. And if you missed our interview with Mike and Michelle from last season, or Kat and Jesse, as I mentioned earlier, or even Joe and Bill, who we were talking about getting eliminated in Poland, all of those are available on iTunes. And yeah, that's it for the 100th episode. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Getting 100.
Peace.
Peace.
Hello, everyone. It's Michael again. Now, normally we don't come back on the podcast, but it's a special one. So, as a little treat, we wrote a little bit more to the intro this week, just to sort of put everyone on the spot. And it got a bit awkward. Now, I did cut this out of the edit on the original podcast, but as a special Yatten 100 treat, here's the end of the intro that got a little awkward. Enjoy. And as promised last week, we're also joined by Phil Kogan.
We are?
You promised it. Come on.
I can't do a Phil Kogan impression.
Someone do a terrible Phil impression, please.
I don't think this is going to make the episode.
Spa.
Yeah, Ben, you are wrong.
Spa and massages.
John Montgomery? Come on, Logan, you can do that one.
Your team number one, again.
Howdy, boys. Thanks for having me here. I can't do a Canadian accent, so I'll just do the chippins.
Alan Wu.
Anyways.
Come on, at least someone
the cream of this podcast will be rising to the top.
Yes. And Pierre and the Michelles. I know Logan can do that one.
Je suis une pizza.